So today I'm sharing a work in progress. I'm going to add color to these birds, and then I'm going to stitch on them. Now, fair warning, this is a project you're not going to see the end result on very soon. I'll probably share some updates as I go, but when I do something like this and I add color and then stitch on it, it can sometimes take me several weeks to complete it. I plan to take these with me when I'm sitting on the sofa watching TV with my husband, or when I'm out and about for appointments. And I don't think I'm going to need a hoop when I stitch on them. I may add some beading or some other fabric collage in there, we'll see. But I don't think I'm going to need a hoop, because if you see this felt here that it's stitched on, you see how quickly it just snaps back. It's flexible, but it's pretty stiff. So I don't really need a hoop. So this will fit nicely and easily into my purse. I'll be doing each one of these individually. But I also don't think I want to use acrylic paint on it, because the acrylic paint will stiffen the fabric and that may make it a little more difficult to stitch, because this is quite a thick, stiff felt. So I need to go grab my paintbrushes, but I think I'm going to limit my palette today to some different shades of blue and yellow. And I'm going to use, I have this palette here, maybe some of the blues and yellows from here, maybe something from the Ohuhu palette. Might add some Payne's Gray in with the blue. We'll see how I feel. But I do have a video about ways that you can add color to fabric, and I will link to that as well. But again, this is going to be a work in progress that I share over time. I'll put the color today and they'll have to dry for a little while before I can stitch on them. But let's get my brushes and let's get to adding some color. Okay, so these are pretty much dry. If you look back through the video, you'll notice that the colors initially went on a lot brighter, a lot stronger. If you've watched my previous video, which again I'll link to below, about painting with fabric, especially with watercolor, you don't have too much control, and what tends to happen is that the fabric pulls or wicks away some of the paint with the water, and it changes the way the pigment sits in the fabric. So you're going to get areas where the pigment can be very dark. You're going to get some areas where the pigments are lighter. and you're going to get some color mixing. So you do need to pay attention of what is sitting next to each other. So I have these slight blue-green, kind of yellow blue-green areas, which I'm fine with that. I feel like it adds visual interest. In some areas here, we get some of these brown tones. And if you'll notice, this Payne's gray that I put in some spots, it was initially very, very dark, but it has lightened out to a very nice lighter gray tone. This is, of course, the beginning layer. And again, just a lot of interesting variation in the way that the pigments have layered. I think I'm liking him the best, even though he lost the orange in his beak. But what I will then do is I will try to match the thread that I have to the colors that I'm using. And I will try to then add in different layers of value. I typically choose between 3 to 5 colors, and often I'll include the base color of the watercolor in that number. And so here, if I have these 4 with this one, you can see where I can get a variation in color value between what I'm stitching here. I can also mix in some of the oranges that I was using before, maybe either in lighter or darker shades. It's a matter of kind of experimenting. It's a little bit intuitive, feeling where you need the stitching and where you want to leave the background and show some of that variation. Sometimes in the fabric you'll get watercolor blooms, sometimes not. It does what it wants to do. The only other thing I will say, like here, I do like his feet, but this one, I don't like his feet so much. But when I am going to finish this off, I am going to be cutting away the outer edges here. So if I want to, there's 2 things I can do. One, I can stitch over this and try to correct what I don't like about the feet. And if that doesn't work, I can cut it away and then paint in new feet or layer in new feet on a scrap piece of cloth, either stitched or painted. There are a lot of options. It's going to be a little while, again, before I can show you the completed project because hand stitching takes a lot of time. I'm also going to link to the original project where I did these. These are all stitched by machine, so I drew these birds using my sewing machine. It's a freehand motion embroidery. So that is all I have for this video. Please like and subscribe, and thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next video.